There was a period in the mid-90s where if you were watching wrestling every week, you didn't need anyone to explain who Sunny was. She was just there, at all the shows, in all the segments, and in all the magazines. WWF didn't have a lot of crossover stars at that time, but Sunny was one of the few who broke out of that bubble. America Online named her the most downloaded woman on the internet in 1996. People who didn't even watch wrestling knew who she was. For a lot of fans, she wasn't just part of the show, she was part of growing up with it. I remember it the same way. I remember having her figure in my little King of the Ring playset. I remember seeing her in the magazines and watching her on TV, and not really thinking about how big she was at the time. That's what makes this story difficult to sit with, because the same person who reached that level of popularity is now serving a prison sentence connected to a crash that took someone's life. Tamara Lynn Sitch was born in 1972 and grew up in New Jersey in a structured household. Her father had a military background, and by all accounts, she had a stable upbringing. Her connection to wrestling didn't come from fandom, it came from Chris Candido. They went to high school together, and Candido was already chasing a career in wrestling. When he got the opportunity to work with Smoky Mountain Wrestling, she followed him to Tennessee. At that point, she was in college, originally focused on pre-law and later pre-med, but that path changed quickly when she got around the business. Jim Cornette saw something in her early and brought her into Smoky Mountain Wrestling as an on-screen personality. She debuted as Tammy Fitch, a loud, opinionated heel who leaned into a political, self-important character. She wasn't just there to stand next to someone, she was involved in angles, managing talent, cutting promos, and getting real reactions from crowds. There are stories from that time about fans trying to get over the barricade just to get at her. That kind of reaction isn't accidental. She managed Brian Lee to the SMW Heavyweight Championship and later worked closely with Candido as a team. By the time their run in Smoky Mountain was ending, she had already proven she could hold her own on screen. WWF brought her in toward the end of 1994, initially in a smaller role doing broadcast segments. Not long after, Candido joined the company and they were paired together again. The first attempt at presenting them as clean-cut babyfaces didn't work. The audience didn't respond the way the company expected, so they adjusted. They turned them into arrogant fitness personalities. Sunny and Skip, the Bodydonnas, and that version connected immediately. She wasn't limited to one team. She moved between different acts, managing the Bodydonnas, the Godwinns, and the Smoking Guns, often turning on one to align with another. Those switches weren't random, they were designed to keep the tag team division moving, and Sunny became the common thread that tied those stories together. At the same time, she was being used across multiple shows. She hosted segments, did commentary, worked as a ring announcer, and appeared on secondary programming like Livewire and Shotgun Saturday Night. That level of usage says a lot about how the company viewed her. By 1996, Sunny's popularity had gone beyond wrestling. Her Raw magazine bikini issue became one of the best-selling issues the company ever produced. She appeared on mainstream television, including MTV and entertainment programs, and became a recognizable figure outside of WWF programming. That same year, she was named the most downloaded woman on the internet by AOL. It's easy to hear that now and not fully grasp what it meant at the time. There was no social media, and the internet was dial-up back then. That kind of attention meant she had crossed into a different level of visibility. She also won PWI's Manager of the Year in 1996, which reinforced something that sometimes gets overlooked. She wasn't just popular, she was effective in her role. She understood how to get reactions, how to shift the energy of a segment, and how to make the people around her feel more important. That combination of visibility and performance is what led WWF to later describe her as the first diva. At the same time her popularity was at its highest, there were issues building behind the scenes. Her relationship with Sable became a point of tension. Both women were competing for the same kind of spotlight, and that created friction that carried over into real life. There were also reports of substance abuse beginning to affect her reliability. Painkiller addiction was something that came up repeatedly. By 1998, everything came together in a way that made her difficult for the company to keep using. She missed appearances, There were ongoing issues backstage, and that tension with other talent didn't go away. In July of 1998, she was released from the WWF. After leaving the WWF, she appeared in ECW within days, reuniting with Candido and continuing to work as his manager. The environment in ECW was different, less structured and more unpredictable, and harder to maintain consistency. The same concerns that had followed her out of WWF didn't disappear. In 2000, she and Candido moved to WCW. She debuted at Spring Stampede and was involved in a short run that included managing Candido during his Cruiserweight Championship win. That run didn't last long. By mid-2000, they were gone from WCW as well. From there, her career became a series of independent appearances and smaller promotions. In 2005, Chris Candido died at the age of 33 following complications from surgery related to a broken leg. They had been connected since high school, and his presence had been a constant throughout her entire wrestling career. After his death, she continued working on independent shows and appeared at tribute events, including memorial shows held in his honor. In 2011, WWE inducted Sunny into the Hall of Fame. The induction recognized her contributions to the industry and her role in shaping how women were presented on WWF television in the mid-90s. For a lot of fans, that moment felt like a proper closing chapter. She had made an impact, she was recognized for it, and she was placed alongside other important names in wrestling history. But that stability didn't last. Starting in 2012, her legal troubles became more frequent and more serious. She was arrested multiple times within a short period, including incidents involving disorderly conduct and violations of protective orders. Over the next several years, the pattern that stood out the most involved driving under the influence. There were multiple DUI arrests between 2015 and 2018, some of them involving extremely high blood alcohol levels and dangerous driving behavior. There were additional arrests, violations, and ongoing legal issues that showed the same behavior continuing over time. On March 25, 2022, Tammy Sitch was involved in a car crash in Florida. According to reports, she drove into the rear of a stopped vehicle at a traffic light, causing a chain reaction crash. The driver of the vehicle she struck, a 75-year-old man, died as a result of the collision. Reports later showed that her blood alcohol level was significantly above the legal limit at the time of the crash. She was arrested and charged with DUI manslaughter and related offenses. In August 2023, she pleaded no contest to the charges. In November 2023, she was sentenced to 17.5 years in prison, followed by probation. Sunny's impact on wrestling is real. She helped define a period of WWF that a lot of people still go back and watch. She showed that a woman on a show could do more than just stand at ringside. She could talk, carry segments, and be part of what made the show work. And that part of her story doesn't go away. At the same time, the decisions she made later in life don't go away either. A person lost their life. Sunny really went from most downloaded to most wanted. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like and let me know in the comments what your favorite Sunny memory is. And be sure to subscribe for more Pinfalls and Pixels content. And ring that notification bell. Thanks for watching. This is Glocky and I'll catch you next time.
JCW Lunacy. New episodes every Thursday night at 7 p.m. on YouTube. For over 25 years, JCW has delivered the very best in pro wrestling entertainment, bringing fans deep storytelling drama, gut-busting comedy, and unbelievable in-ring action. From wild characters to unforgettable rivalries, JCW has built a legacy that spans generations of fans. Whether you've been watching since day one or you're brand new to the chaos, there's never been a better time to join the madness.
Oh, take a look at this!
Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. on YouTube and catch up on past episodes right now. JCW Lunacy. It's more than wrestling, it's a way of life.